Alrighty.
Just tweeting it out because it messed up.
Back from round 2 of technical difficulties. It's all good though. Lesson learned: you can't run Twitch and YouTube live at the same time, or it just glitches everything out and nothing works. So while he's tweeting it out, kind of the format of today's live stream, whatever you want to call it, is going to be a little recap on the LCSs, both AL and NL, and then honestly some just some foreshadowing for some the possible future of what teams need to do. But what we were going to do first.
Actually, I think we should change a little bit of what we were going to do first.
Sure.
So to start, he got his third coffee. This is number 3. So he's got one more left now.
That would be 4.
Yeah, that would be 4. And because it unfortunately only came like an hour after the podcast was done, he has his prize from last round. He has the flag, so
we'll hang that later.
Yes, we'll hang it later. We'll show it hanging up because it's pretty cool.
It is.
So obviously he won the first 2 rounds, and so the third round we already have a winner. But we'll discuss to explain first. So we'll start with the LCS, and as we were saying, the Rays and Astros. That was a fun series to watch. I enjoyed watching the Rays. The Rays were fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't think anyone actually enjoys watching Houston unless they're losing.
Yeah, it's more so upsetting to watch because they weren't playing good baseball. To me, anyways,
No.
They were, because like Jose Altuve, he was playing the equivalent of garbage minutes.
Yeah.
He had like 4 fielding errors. He had several pickoffs or base running blunders.
Yeah, no. His overall performance was not really living up to it. I mean, like Correa played good. I would say.
Bregman didn't show up the entire season. No season. I feel bad for him because I feel like the difference would have been had they had Yordan Alvarez, but they didn't. He was injured like the entire season.
Right.
Or opted out. I can't remember which one it was.
Regardless, he was not playing.
He was not playing nonetheless. So he was out, and then Verlander was out. I feel like Houston definitely could have whooped the Rays easy, or at least somewhat.
It would have given him a better fight. I don't think that this series reflects either team's skill whatsoever. I mean, you're coming in Houston, losing record team into the playoffs. The fact that they made it to like an LCS game is crazy. Not to mention they took the Rays 7.
Yeah.
You know what? That just kind of sums up this year as a whole.
Well, and you know what? I'm actually half convinced that they would have won more than 29 games had they had Verlander for longer than like one start. Because it was although Framber Valdez and Lance McCullers Jr. both outperformed what anybody expected, they still could have used Verlander greatly.
For sure. You always have that third pitcher in the rotation to especially mix things up.
Then Greinke too. I mean,
to give you some relief to the other players. You're putting a lot of pressure on them, expecting them to perform, which they did throughout the season, we did see. I think that's half the reason why they made it as far as they did. But at the end of the day, depth was definitely lacking in their pitching column this year.
For sure. And then their relieving wasn't fantastic either. They were having a very, very rough time this year. And like I said, they were missing Yordan Alvarez. Bregman definitely didn't show up like at all. He was terrible this year. They only had like a few good guys that were what felt like carrying the team for a majority of the time.
Yeah, no. And you know what? Just their overall roundedness, it just didn't feel like the right team to make it as far as they did. I mean, good for them. I hate to say it, like, good for Houston this year. They made it as far as they did. Everyone hates you, and I think everyone worldwide is happy you're out. I mean, I applaud you made it as far as you did. I believe
for sure.
The manager, he was in an interview. It was like, whether people love us or hate us, you got to respect us. And it's like, you know what? You kind of do.
In this way, I feel like it definitely was an accomplishment for them to get as far as they did. I know for me as a fan of many other teams not named the Astros, I was very happy that they were eliminated. I was very upset that they got as far as they did, but I am impressed nonetheless. Whether, obviously there'd be times where, they were doing really, really well and, they were coming back against the Rays there, and it made you think, are they using buzzers again?
Yeah, no. It was like,
a
little pat down before games to make sure they didn't have wires on them or something.
Yeah, like we texted back and forth several times. But, when Houston decided to start stomping on Tampa and thinking, is this real?
Yeah, let's turn the
or-
mics up. Make sure there's no like coughs or garbage can kicks for like signals. I don't know. It was getting concerning how like how insane they were playing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It was like, what is happening here? Like this is not right.
Well, yeah, like they beat what was it? The Twins in 2.
Yeah.
They beat the A's handily in 5.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it wasn't even 5, was it? It was 4 or something.
Oh,
Yeah, it was 4. It was
yeah.
4. They beat them in 4 because it was a 5-game series.
Right.
And then they made it 7 games against the Rays, the best winning percentage team in the AL.
I think everyone can, unless you're like a diehard Houston fan, I think everyone kind of hates them. I think you have to respect them with their performances this year. You have to respect it. You don't have to love it, but you have to respect it.
Yeah, it just makes me feel bad that like a team like, say, the Angels didn't make it in the postseason versus them. Now, they had a chance up until like maybe 2 games left in the season when they lost and the Astros won. So then they were mathematically eliminated.
Right.
I would have loved to see that team in, because obviously I don't think they would have made it very far. I don't think they would have made it past the first round.
No.
But the fact that Mike Trout would have been in the postseason again, it's been new territory it would have been new territory for the Angels.
I think it would have been good for
like
the
5-6
team too.
years.
Like, it would have been a good morale boost for them as well. It gets really sad when your team's like, it becomes a common trend. It's like, yeah, like going into the season, like, yeah, we're probably not going to make it. With the extended playoff, shortened season, every team got that like sense of boost, like we could actually do it. And for a team like LA to not make it and Houston step in, like not take their spot. I mean, they earned it. It's just kind of saddening.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, but like I think
they gotta be proud now,
yeah.
anyways, because like this is the best winning percentage they've had since they got to the postseason. What was it, 6 or 7 years ago?
Right,
like 2013, 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Best season they've had in a while. Even though it was only 60 games, I could project that it would probably be close to the same thing, just 162 games.
Right.
So I mean, they did well. They did have a lot of good pieces. Dylan Bundy came out to play. Andrew Heaney did pretty good.
Yep.
They had some great pieces. I think they just need, and this is going to be part of where I think someone's going to go in the offseason. They need some pitching.
Yeah.
That's their biggest need. But
they got the bats. They got like decent amount of thing. Mike Trout's a good fielder. I like him in the outfield. He's very controlling. Center field is the most important, obviously, outfield position. I think he controls it well. I think with his confidence, just his elite level of play, really complements their team. And then I think that, they got like pieces like Upton. I mean, like, Ancient Pujols is still on there.
Yeah.
Like
Grandpa.
Pitching. Oh my. Okay, Angels.
Come on, you need to do something with that.
We're in school and we know what you need. Like, come on there, GMs.
Come on. Yeah. Well, on to, I guess, the other LCS series, and this is what's going to make betting very hard, but we have a plan, so we're going to work with that. So currently, it's not over. They scheduled it so that they didn't have both game ones on the same day. They made it so that the Rays and Astros started on Monday. Or no, it was Sunday night.
Yeah.
And then the Dodgers and Braves didn't start till Monday in the afternoon, I believe it was.
Right.
So they're in game 7 now. I did not expect this to be game 7. Well, neither of us bet game 7.
No.
But
I don't think we expected either series to go game 7.
No.
I think it was 5 and 6 for literally both.
Yeah, and it's the fact that it went game 7 for both, which, interesting stat, only has happened twice before this, which was the 2003 and 4 series.
Right.
The losing team both times, the goddamn Yankees. Once was by the Red Sox, and the other was, I think, I don't even remember. It might have been the Red Sox again that came up. I know it was the 2004 Red Sox. Anyway, that came back. But Houston never ended up doing it. They lost. But now we got the Braves and the Dodgers, that the Dodgers could pull off a comeback. Please, for the love of God, I want them to make the comeback. I love the Braves. The Braves are a great team, and they are fun to watch.
I just like the Dodgers more.
I just like the Dodgers more. And you know what? I am sick and tired of their 8-9 years, winning the NL West.
Right.
And then, making it a couple rounds in the playoffs,
choking.
Or even making to the World Series. And then.
They're probably arguably one of the biggest choke teams.
I saw that guy. You got to give good vibes to the Braves.
Yeah.
No, not good vibes for the Braves. Good vibes for the Dodgers. Come on.
No, like I like the Braves. I like the future they hold. You know, Freddie Freeman probably will win MVP this year. He's been lights out. I don't think anyone can really debate it.
Nah.
And then obviously Acuna has been playing decent. But the Dodgers, come on, man. Like,
For me, I kind of see it as this. The Dodgers have, I think it wouldn't have even gone 7 if Mike Soroka was still in. I
Right.
think the Braves would have won. I can almost guarantee that because the Braves have had to go into they've been surprisingly good. Don't get me wrong, but like Kyle Wright, he's definitely not a guy that you necessarily want to have start in like an NLCS important game or even doing a bullpen game. Like that's not something you really want to be doing. But both teams did do that, and I think the Rays did it as well, and I think so did the Astros. I can't remember. I think they both did it on the same day, which was convenient for both.
Yeah.
But
Actually, let's not a bet here. Just like a little guess. What do you think happens this afternoon or this evening? I guess it's like an 8:30 start or whatever.
now both games or both series, there hasn't really been a ton of blowout.
No, it's been like close.
It's been very tight, other than Game 3.
Yeah, no, Game 3 when the Dodgers came back.
Game 3 and 4. Dodgers came back
and
they
just laid it
stomped.
on them.
It was like 15-3, and then the next day the Braves came back and did 10-2.
Okay, so scratch the whole no blowouts. There's been 2.
There's been 2, but after blowouts, typically they don't do that great. But I think there's going to be another blowout tonight. I can't guarantee I know which team it's going to be, but I feel like there's going to be a blowout. Maybe I could see it being the Dodgers because Ian Anderson hasn't let a run yet, which, although that's literally counterproductive to what I'm saying, I feel like it's got to happen eventually, and I feel like it's going to definitely, it's going to be one game where it's going to be like 6 runs or something like that on Ian Anderson. Or if they bring in, say, because the Dodgers haven't discussed who they want to bring in yet. That'll be something we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
If they bring in Kershaw and they leave him too long,
it'll be blowout for Atlanta.
It'll be blowout for Atlanta.
Yeah, like Kershaw. Okay, so our kind of
I guess
theory,
we'll discuss it now.
Might as well. Our kind of theory was if you're bringing in Kershaw, we're saying like 4-5 innings tops. Like,
especially because he gets winded, and you can tell, like every fan can tell. It's like Dave Roberts is the only person that can't tell when he's done. He's done. Don't let him throw another pitch because it's gonna, he's gonna get hit. He doesn't notice it. He lets him in too long, or he puts him in relief on short rest, or he just makes him start on short rest, and it damages kind of his legacy because he wants. And I don't blame Kershaw for this. He wants to help the team as much as he can, which he does a pretty damn good job 90% of the time.
Right.
But when Dave Roberts takes it to the extreme and says, okay, let's pitch on 3 days rest, and then let's put you in relief another day later or something like that.
Right.
You're doing the wrong thing.
No,
you're just hurting him.
He's a starter that's meant to be put into a proper rotation, and with the proper rotation, he will excel. Kershaw pitching today, I think it could go either way.
For sure.
It literally, I think he starts out fine. I think that within the first like 3 or 4 innings, maybe lets up a run, maybe 2. I think he'll be solid though. I think he'll be pitching fine. Fortunately, I think he'll be playing good. And then whether or not they leave him in too long because he gets a little too excited seeing how good Kershaw's been pitching, it could really dictate whether or not Atlanta takes advantage of that. Where I could see the blowout happening.
Yeah. But one thing that also has to be discussed is the fact that where they haven't decided who they want to start doesn't mean that Kershaw's starting.
Right.
He's lined up to start because obviously he's number 2. He pitched game 2, right? I think game 2.
No, he had back spasms.
Back spasms. So it was game 3 or 4.
Yeah.
4. It was game 4. So he might not even start. But if he does start, it will be on short rest. So he should be on a short leash. But they also have options like Tony Gonsolin, who he pitched game 3. He pitched 3-4 innings. No, that was Urias.
Yeah, Urias is also is also lined up to pitch.
Yeah, today. You could do Urias. Gonsolin did. Maybe he did game 5. Maybe.
I don't know. It's really confusing.
It's really confusing. They have a lot of starting pitching, and they really threw it off since Kershaw couldn't do the second game, and then they pushed him back to the third game. But then last second they said, never mind, and put him to the fourth game.
Yeah.
So it could be Kershaw. It could be Gonsolin. Possibly. I doubt it. They could use I don't know why they haven't used Dustin May to the amount that they normally use him.
Yeah.
He's a starter, and they've been using him as a reliever. Sure, but he was good this year as a starter, so I don't see why they don't just leave him in
Right.
and start him. And obviously they can't do Bueller. He's probably a only if really needed in like the 9th or 10th inning if it goes that far.
I think in extras, if it does go extra innings, they could bring him in because at that point, it's like your season's on the line. It's game 7, extra innings. You put him in.
They could put a Garrett Cole. They could do a Garrett Cole situation,
Exactly.
but actually put him in.
Right. I could see him pitching like 1 inning max.
Yeah,
probably
they
like
won't tear him
15
like
pitches. Like I wouldn't want to go any more than that, especially after pitching yesterday.
Yeah, and he pitched. I think he pitched 6. So he did pitch.
So it's like a full start.
He did a full start, 6 innings. So I mean, yeah, I think he should definitely be considered as a late inning reliever if they're in that situation where they need, they want to save some other guys like Kershaw if he pitches today. Then obviously they don't want him to pitch too long,
right?
And then they only have a limited amount of relievers. They can't be using Kenley Jansen too much because he's a risk.
Right. It's going to be literally the pitching today for us. It's going to be all dependent on how the game goes.
For sure.
If you bring in Kershaw, say you start Kershaw today and he pitches 4 innings, lights out.
We'll keep an eye on if it.
Yeah. If he goes into the 5th inning and he's playing garbage, then you got to really decide who you want to pitch for relief. I mean, maybe they put in Kershaw for only 3 innings. Like there's so many options. It's almost impossible to tell whether maybe bring in Urias. Like who knows?
I think their best option is probably to do a sort of bullpen game, but more like a bullpen starter game.
Yeah,
where it's like they have 2 or 3 starters do like 3 or 4 innings each.
Yep.
Bring Kershaw in for a full round of the batting lineup, then bring in Urias. Then maybe not Gonsolin. Bring in May for an inning or 2. Bring in Joe Kelly. Oh,
yeah.
I freaking love Joe Kelly.
Yeah,
that shit's funny.
Yeah, no, he's
a god.
He's comical, that's for sure. And then not to mention when you do that, you're not giving a hitter very much of a chance to see the pitcher multiple times because
sure.
You go up and you kind of get a feel like by the time you're about the 4th pitch, you can kind of like feel it out. But then by the time the 4th pitch happens, you're swinging or you're striking out or you're walking or whatever. And then you know what, you prepare for your next at bat. But you got someone else. It's a brand new battle, especially when Joe Kelly pitches completely different than like Kershaw would versus like Jansen or whatever. They're all different, so it's definitely an interesting strategy, but it's smart.
Oh, it would be, and that's what they should do. They're probably not going to do that.
There's a theoretical about what they should do.
What they should do, Dodgers aren't going to do that. For 2 different reasons. One, because they're not that kind of team.
Right.
And secondly, because if they win, they got the World Series to worry about then. They just used a bunch of different pitchers who normally start for several innings.
Right.
So then, they got to work out the whole
it's also
pitching order again.
It's hard to do because it's like you want to put everything you have into this game.
But if you win it, then you got to worry about the next games.
But then if you don't put everything into it and lose it, you're gonna have regret. So it's
for sure.
It's not a job I want to have. I mean, we can tell the GMs what they want to do all we want to. It's up to them. I would never want that job.
And we're definitely not educated.
We have nothing to lose.
And we're not educated. We're not educated enough to know what's proper to do either. So we just kind of we shoot shit.
We do our little educated, somewhat not educated at all. Yes.
Yeah. Not educated at all. Just fans watching.
Exactly. Fan observations.
So who do you think though? Who do you really think is going to win this series?
Man.
Like this next game? Because
I don't even know. I want to deep down. I want to say Dodgers, but I don't even know.
As Jared Carabas tweeted out a couple times, and I 100% agree with it, is Atlanta's lineup fucks. Like real good. It's such a good lineup, and I really love watching them. They're like the Padres to me. Like they're really fun to watch when they bat, not quite as much when they pitch, and it's just so impressive to me.
Yeah, it's literally going to come down to how do the Dodgers handle Atlanta's lineup.
For sure,
if they can handle it, they'll be all right. If not, they're going home.
And so far, it's been a pretty limited series. Other than those 2 games, which were, to be fair, blowouts. They went back and forth, so it's.
I would just cancel them out.
Yeah, pretty much cancel them out, even though the Dodgers did explode more. but nobody really cares that much. They basically pulled a Cardinals last year on them,
Right.
but it wasn't on a pivotal game like that. Although it was game. No, it wasn't. It was game 4. Never mind.
All good.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna be a matter of pitching, like you said. I think it's gonna be very interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Watch it at 8:30. Watch it.
Yeah, honestly, it's gonna be insane. Okay, so on that note, then with predicting, so I guess we should get into how we're gonna line up the bet for this week.
The bet.
It's gonna be tough.
World Series bet.
Right. So basically, essentially, what we're gonna do. So to recap, actually, this week's round.
Oh yes,
he won.
I won. So
about time.
Both. Yeah, finally.
I was tired of taking his money.
Third round's the charm. So the Rays won in 7. I bet 6. He bet 5. So I was closer, obviously, by 1 game.
That game was brutal though. Game 5. I thought for sure, it's going to extras. I had so much after Buddy hit that home run. What was it, in the 8th?
Something like that.
Tampa. I was like, perfect. We're all tied up. We got momentum. And Buddy over here is probably scared.
I know which game you were talking about.
I could feel the nervousness from you.
I can remember. I think it was game 6 as well. There was
game 6 didn't matter anyways. You had won after that.
Yeah, but it was fun to watch because I'm going to pull up the text because it's hilarious. It was the game where I think it was Brantley. Was it Brantley? Yeah, I think it was Brantley hit a leadoff home run for Houston. They were winning 3-0 by the 3rd, but then in the 8th, the Rays had tied or something like that. Or no, it might have even been the 9th. Who knows? But he was like bomb once G-Man Choi hit his home run, his solo home run, and he was fully prepared to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm winning." I was
picking my hats at that point. Not gonna lie, I had the website up. I was texting my one buddy from school. I'm like, "Hey, what selection should I do?" I was full on set.
But then, best text ever. So first off, must say that the game ended at around 8:30. This text was sent before the game ended at around the 8th, 9th inning. Before what happened was Correa hit a walk-off home run. And that was impressive because I actually called it. Hold on. I got to find it because this was... Okay, here we go. So I said my nerves are shot at 7:20, as you do. Noah says bomb at 8:03. Braden, because this is a group chat, says, uh-oh, you're in trouble. Because, obviously he likes shit-talking me.
Yeah.
8:28, I say, nah, I smell a walk-off. 16 minutes later, walk-off bitches.
So
I'm a winner.
So Braden was over at the time. He's a common trend with us just because we good guy for the show. Maybe
he's good for comedic value.
Oh, that's 100%.
That's for sure.
He's a Pirates fan. What do you expect?
Right.
So no, he was over. We were hanging out, and then all of a sudden, I look at my phone. I get a couple notifications, and we were watching the game back and forth, playing a game. So we were like, when the intermission ended on our game, we'd let's check out the score. And all I see is a FaceTime call. And I'm like, I know exactly what this is. So I open it, and then he is just trash talking me. So I'm like, no way, hang up. I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. Honestly, I was so happy about that I called it 15 minutes before it happened.
Yeah. It's always nice to when you call something a little bit before it happens. But yeah, no. So after that happened, I had no chance at winning.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it was great. It was a great walk-off. And I agree, cheaters are gone. It's awesome. It is really awesome. But I needed them to no, I didn't need them to win that game. I needed them to lose. Or obviously they lost game 7, but I needed them to lose in one of the last 2 games. Or if they won, it didn't really matter. I won already. Because I won by game, I think it was 4 I won. It was pretty friggin' early on.
Sorry, for what one?
As the whole thing.
Right, yeah.
I ended up winning by game 4 or 5 or something like that because some teams couldn't come back or something like that.
Yeah, all these mathematical calculations were being done. We're like, okay, this has to happen. This has to happen. Yeah. Basically, the general consensus of the whole thing was coming down to game 5, the extra innings, and we were both just eagerly was like, all right. And then, it just killed me.
Oh, it was great.
I was like, all right, time to whip out the bank account, send them money for these stupid hats because I know exactly what's going to happen.
I ended up getting 2 hats, but also I messed up because I ordered on the U.S. site. I'm a real smart guy. I ordered the Cincinnati Reds because I'm actually collecting. I'm getting all 30 hats of the 940 style from New Era. So I got the Cincinnati Reds 940, and then I got, which is red with the white symbol, and then I got the Miami Marlins, the new M with the Marlin on it.
They're pretty sick looking hats.
They are really nice looking hats, especially the Marlins one. Like low key, one of my favorite logos. Like just the color scheme.
It's very cool.
I mean, the M could be a little different.
From a colorblind kid myself, it looks pretty gnarly.
The colors are freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I ended up winning. I think it was on Thursday, which was Game 5 for the Rays, and then Game 4 for the Dodgers and Braves. And I think it was like if Houston ended up winning that game, then I automatically won because
the way it worked out was basically if the games go longer than 5, he was going to win regardless because he had 6 for both. And then I was like, as long as they're shorter than 5, and then I was expecting it because it's like Houston, like you don't have a chance against Tampa, but I mean, you know, they had their buzzers going or something that game, and then all of a sudden the Dodgers and Braves are going to 7 later tonight. It's like, wow, okay,
yeah, it was.
I don't even know anymore.
It was very awesome though, the fact that like I didn't need the Dodgers to win like at all.
No,
had they even lost in 5 games, I still would have won because well, no, it would have had to been that Houston won in 7 and the Braves won in 5, because at that point where Houston had won the Game 5, I was already in the lead.
Right. As soon as it passed that, he was already good. The only way I would have been able to tie it up is if it was the Dodgers won in 5. Sorry?
It was if for us to tie, it would have been if I think it was like if the Rays won that game, the only way that we would have been able to tie at the time was that was when the Braves were winning 2-1. And that would have been if the Dodgers won all 3 games.
Right.
Because then we would have gotten, I won Dodgers in 6, he won Rays in 5.
Right.
And then we probably just wouldn't have bought anything, or maybe we would have just bought something for ourselves. Something like that. I don't know.
Anyways, no, he finally won. I got sick of taking his money. I already gave him a coffee. I let him get off the hook for 1 extra coffee. So I got one next week, and then I'm done with that. Yeah, I've got the flag here. We'll hang that up.
Yeah, we'll hang it up. We're thinking that wall, although there is that wall as an option. Maybe you guys can let us know. Who knows?
Just pick a wall.
Yeah, just pick a wall. But now we have this next round, which so what we're gonna do is, so as we've been doing, the loser goes first. So finally, loser goes first. That's not me. I don't have to say it to myself.
The best is now that I picked probably the best round to lose, in a sense where I'm picking first for the best prize, which is still to be determined.
Yeah, we're kind of getting a bit confused with ourselves because you know, we're university students and money is not necessarily that it's super tight, but it's not easy. So
we gotta pick and choose our expenses.
Yeah, so it's kind of tough. We have a bunch of different ideas we're trying to do. We're thinking maybe like a little bit of a mixed bag type thing, like a couple things,
like a medley of stuff. But honestly, to be honest, we have no idea. We might check out some other stuff after this.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? We'll tweet it out once we know. Don't worry about that. We'll put some Instagram stuff. Maybe we'll put some pictures or whatever of what we think we're doing.
Who knows?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But we do have to predict this series, and
we're predicting it as if it's 2 different series because where the game is tonight at 8:30, we can't really predict, say, oh, it's the Rays and Dodgers, obviously, because it's not. It's
or
not
vice
obvious.
versa or whatever.
Yeah, because it's not obvious. So he's gonna go first both rounds. Assuming it's either team. So the first time will be Rays versus Braves. He'll pick, then I'll pick, and then it'll be Rays versus Dodgers. He'll pick, and then whichever one it ends up actually being, we'll use, and then whichever one it isn't, we'll toss.
Yeah. Okay, so might as well do Braves first,
and we'll pull up the document.
For sure. Okay, man. Well, every time I pick first, or sorry, no, I've never picked first. Actually, no, that's not true.
The first round you did.
The first round because we alternated, and even the second round we alternated a couple times. Actually, even last round we would have alternated too.
Yeah. You never went. You only went first.
Right now.
Once. No, it was the first round because I let you go.
Oh yeah, he let me.
Yeah,
it's a pity.
Pity. But then I.
Okay, so oh man. Okay, so assuming Raves and Braves. If the Braves beat the Dodgers, that is some serious skill, and I would be feeling pretty good about the Braves coming in. I would have Braves in 6.
Braves in 6?
Yeah.
Well, here, why don't we do this? We'll do We'll do both yours right now. So you think Braves in 6, and if it's the Dodgers and Rays, what do you think?
The Dodgers in 6.
Dodgers in
I
6.
don't think Tampa's going to win. They have a consistent lineup, but they just lack the superstar atmosphere. I mean, like they got Snell, they got a couple other good players, but like
They do.
They don't
got some
have
good ones.
their, if they go against Atlanta, they don't have their Freddie Freeman or
No.
their Acuna, or against the Dodgers, they don't have their Mookie Betts.
Yeah, for sure.
Their Cody Bellinger. Like, I just don't think that they can last the full 7 against a caliber team like that.
For sure.
You have a tough pick here.
I do. I have very tough picks. First off, I want to say to you that are watching, share this with your friends. Share it with people who you think might like baseball, because, hey, we're fun to watch, we think. Probably not. We're probably just very weird.
Hey, we have a couple people watching here, so I mean, I guess we're not boring everyone.
Yeah. Whether it's just to support us or whatever, we appreciate
or just
it.
to watch either of us lose money.
That's
either work too, honestly. Whatever your reason is.
It is very fun.
We'll take them.
You should try and share it, whether it's
For
on
sure.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Family in the house or whatever it may be. Because, hey, we're looking to grow. We just want to spread our love of baseball to those who also maybe not even like baseball, maybe just want to hear some funny crap, want to hear whatever.
Well, I think some of it's a little bit funny, at least. I hope so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't agree with that statement, and I'll say why afterwards, but I'm going to finish.
Yankees 2021 champs. Okay, I know exactly who said that. That's hilarious.
I'm not going to agree with that. I'll explain why after.
We got some content for later now, I see.
Yes, but I got some betting I got to do now.
Right. Okay, we'll start with Braves then.
So the Braves and the Rays, I actually, to the contrary, weirdly, kind of see the Rays beating the Braves.
Wow.
It's kind of an odd pick for me, just because I don't know why, but I do see that the Rays all around although they don't have any like superstar players, although Randy Arozarena has been phenomenal.
Right.
Obviously that can't be kept up forever. Although
as long as it's kept up for the World Series.
I mean, he's done it the entire 2020. He's been fantastic.
Right.
So
I'm exactly seeing it ending now.
Yeah, I don't see him slowing down. So I'm going to say Rays in 7 if it's with the Braves.
Wow. I think that's our first Game 7 prediction so far.
Yeah, it is. It is 100%. And that is largely because the Braves, they don't have enough pitching compared to the Rays. The Rays have a lot of pitching. They have a lights out bullpen. Their bullpen is phenomenal. I think they let out only like 3 runs in the total of this entire series. So
I mean, Charlie Morton's been playing he's unbelievable. I think it's like a .46 ERA
in like
4 starts. He's 4-0.
Yeah. Now it's 5, and he's only let, I think, 1 extra run, so it's still really low.
It's still good.
Dodgers. Then Dodgers. This one's also tough, but I think that it will be Dodgers in 7. No, hold on. Rewind.
I won't count it.
I want to say, do you know how bad I want to say Dodgers in 6, but you've already taken
I know. I took both 6.
Yeah, I want Dodgers in 6 because I think that they have the equivalent of their pitching, borderline anyways. They have like 2 top guys that match like Glasnow and Morton, and then with Buehler and Kershaw.
Right.
But then they have like a bunch of other smaller guys that match basically everything else.
For sure.
And then I just think the Dodgers lineup is better.
If you go player for player, I mean, they have Bellinger, they have Betts.
Will Smith hitting off Will Smith. That was awesome.
That's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah,
where a player
that was fantastic.
Hits a whole. Wait, I think that's the first time that's ever. Have they ever had that, like an at-bat versus a pitcher with the same name?
Yeah, I think they have. I think they've had that at least a few times, but I don't think
never a home run though.
I don't think it was a home run, and at least in like 100 years or something like that.
Wow.
Although they have
for you, Will Smith.
Yeah, although they have had they've had different circumstances kind of like that, like 2 people of the same name pitching against each other, stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Or like, the backstop catching for the pitcher, they have the same name. That's happened too. It's pretty cool. But he hit a home run, and that was fantastic. And I think that's definitely
the whole at bat was like I think it was a 2-2 count when he hit the home run.
Something like that.
So it was a really good battle. Just he freaking destroyed that ball.
And kind of with talking with the catchers, I think that's going to be the difference, because all around, Will Smith is phenomenally a better catcher than
Right.
Mike Zunino.
Right.
And it's not even close. Even Rays fans know that. Mike Zunino, he hit a home run in Game 7, I'm pretty sure, which was important for them to win.
Right.
However, that's like an outlier for him. He's
Yeah.
not a fantastic batter. He is incredibly slow, both on the base paths and catching, as a whole. And he's not fantastic at framing. Whereas Will Smith is okay at framing. He has power and is very good with his swing.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he's average at running. He's not above average or anything
Yeah,
like
but
that.
name a catcher that is good running. Like, they're all chunky.
I mean,
for
unless
the most part. You mean like Russell Martin, watching him as a catcher, like he was not a fast guy.
No, I mean, unless you're JT Realmuto or like 2012 Buster Posey, you'd be in rare company if you were fast. So
yeah,
I think it's okay to say that
the Jays have some skinnier catchers,
and then they got some chunky ones. So I mean,
yeah, it's kind
Kirk.
of yeah,
Kirk the roll.
Anyway, so Dodgers. What do you?
So I'm gonna say Dodgers in 7 as well.
Wow.
This one feels rough on me because I really, really, really want the Dodgers to win as well, but I'm not confident that they will, just because I really, really don't want them to choke. Now that they're 1 game away, like it could even end up being that they're not even in the World Series, and that's the sad part because I really want them to be there.
Yeah.
I actually also sent him a text. I don't think it was this morning. I think it was last night, just before. What was it? Just before the Astros lost as well, saying, imagine if the Astros and the Dodgers met in the World Series again. I'm like, it's 2017 all over again. And then I would love then to see the Dodgers just pound into Houston, but obviously now it's actually a competition.
I'm just glad to see Houston out. I didn't even want to see them in the World Series. That would have just been depressing.
No, yeah, very, very sad.
Especially to think that there's a chance that Houston could actually win again. To think going back a few years, do you think Houston's title should be stripped?
I do. Well, at the very least, there should be something done with that. And the same thing I would borderline say with the MVP for Jose Altuve. A lot of people said that Aaron Judge should have got it. I don't agree. However, I don't agree that Jose Altuve should have got it either. It's just it wasn't right. So I don't think that any award that they really got counts. For some players, maybe a little more than others because they do have I think a specific chart that shows how much each player used and how much it affected them and stuff like that. And some players it really did affect.
Right.
I mean, like Jose Altuve, look this year.
I know
he was trash. Other than now in the postseason, he was fantastic.
Right, he's just his postseason with all the errors and like the base running mistakes. He just hasn't been good.
No,
I think that doing a serious investigation with that, I think it needs to be more in depth than what they did. I don't remember them actually really doing anything.
No,
everyone's like pissed that they still have it. It's like at the end of the day, you cheat. Like, it's like running a race, like, and you're doping, and it's like Lance Armstrong. All of his Tour de France and whatever he won, all got stripped from him. And these are like years later, and they just gave it to the second place guy every time. It's like cheating is cheating. At the end of the day, it's wrong, especially to that level.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's crazy to think now as well that even though the managers that the head coaches that were part of some of the cheating are now looking for jobs this year, like AJ Hinch and Alex Cora.
Right.
They're both they're probably going to get jobs and they're probably going to be on good teams, which is going to, I think it's going to piss off some people. I know it's going to piss off me because, for example, I've been hearing because of where Renteria was, booted from the White Sox or mutually left, whatever.
That's just a polite term.
Yeah, it's upsetting to think that I read an article that said that their front runner was either AJ Hinch or Alex Cora, which I really hate. It's them for the White Sox are looking at them. The Tigers are looking. I don't care if the Tigers take them. That's fine.
Yeah, no.
I'm fine with the Tigers rotting in hell for another like 3 years. At least.
I don't mind the Tigers. It's okay. I think we can all agree Detroit is a hurting city, and I don't see the Red Wings contributing to that anytime soon.
And the Pistons weren't fantastic.
And the Lions are garbage.
Well,
so
when aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that maybe the Tigers. They're a baseball city too. I mean, like yeah, they got the Motown for like the Red Wings are kind of like the heart of it. But I think the Tigers do contribute,
For
especially
sure.
being in such a trash neighborhood, like where that stadium is located. Like you basically park in like a junkyard when you
Yeah.
go there. It's pretty
It's
nasty.
I want to see them eventually win. I'd love to see Miggy get a ring,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's going to happen.
No,
But because he's
unless he
been
gets traded to a
unless
good
he gets
team.
traded, which I don't think is going to happen because I think he's still got a couple years on like a mass money contract, so he's not going to leave.
Miggy
now.
signed a ridiculous deal.
Yeah.
At the time, it was insane.
It was ridiculous. Now, not as much. It's it's like an average contract or whatever. But
yeah, I know. I remember when he signed, it was all over the place, and it was like I was calculating the math, and I forget the exact details of his contract, but I mean, it was by far the most anyone was making in a team sport in North America. And then, well, I mean, Mookie Betts just destroyed that.
Yeah. And then I mean, he's not that great anymore either. It's crazy to think that he's not very good now, and he's one of the better players still on the Tigers.
Yeah,
that's saying something. But they just have some really bad contracts. I can see in another, like I said, 3 years, they're probably still going to be in the depths of hell because they're not doing great. But once they get rid of some contracts that were way too heavy, they're kind of like the Angels. They paid a little too much for guys that either were unproven, proven a little bit, or were proven but then just declined.
right.
So now it's just unfortunate for them.
They're just putting the money in the wrong spots. Maybe they target the Dodgers front office and get some people in.
Yeah, for sure. What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Oh, so I guess going back to the Yankees, 2021 champs.
Yeah.
I don't believe they will. I actually don't think they'll even make the World Series. Because there are several teams in the American League, one that I actually believe will win the World Series next year. So like there's the A's. The A's are fantastic. I believe they would beat out the Yankees. They're getting progressively better. If Matt Chapman comes back from his injury and he's fine, then the team will be fantastic. They just need another starter or two.
Yep.
They should trade for someone like Dinelson Lamet or something like that. That'd be a fantastic trade. That definitely won't ever happen. And then there's like the White Sox. The White Sox are phenomenal now that they're going to be getting a new head coach, which I 100% agree with was the right move. People are like, oh, this is the first time they've been in the postseason in several years, and the team did so well. Why would they kick him? Because he wasn't the reason for them being good. I believe they probably would have been 5 games better than what they were had they not had him.
Right.
So once they get a new head coach, and I think a new pitching coach, they're also having to get too, because I think they fired their pitching coach as well.
Yep.
They'll be doing a lot better. They need, I think, another starter or two, and they'll be perfect.
The White Sox are a very well-rounded team, I find.
Very, very well-rounded.
They're always like
they need a better DH now because Edwin did terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's just obviously there's gonna be like positions you need to upgrade, but at the end of the day, the White Sox are a solid team. I think they'll be like a decent force to reckon with next year, especially with the new manager coming in. But okay, so the Yankees 2021 champs.
And then there's way too many teams in the NL that I feel could demolish the Yankees.
Yeah,
like the Dodgers could pounce on them. You got the Braves; they could destroy them too.
Padres are playing good. I think the Yankees, they're a good, solid team if everyone is healthy. I think
that's never going to happen.
That's never happened.
No.
Ever. They always this postseason was a bit different. They did have Stanton and Judge both playing, and they were solid. I think
it wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't enough. Garrett Cole, he needs to play probably a bit better, and they probably should sign another. They have Tanaka still. They probably should sign another good starter. But I think they'll obviously make the playoffs every year. The Yankees always make it.
The Yankees will always make the playoffs. However, I don't think they'll ever really make it. At least for the next couple of years, I don't think they're going to make it past the DS because there are too many teams that are too good. Too good, I guess.
The AL is making a comeback.
Oh yeah, they would definitely make the CS if it wasn't for the expanded postseason, but because they're adding in more teams, which I also tweeted about that there are certain parts to it that I think are fantastic. It gives some teams that did very, very well a great chance to get in there. So many teams wouldn't have made it. Like the Yankees wouldn't have made it.
Right.
Because they were the 5th fifth team, I think, and they would only do 4. Oh well, no, because they
Who
got
did
the
they
wild
play
card.
first round?
First round was
Who did they play? Because okay, so Houston played Minnesota. The A's played the White Sox.
yeah, White Sox, and
Jays played the Rays. Then who's the other team? The Yankees and
Indians, and Indians
right.
were
It was a 4-5.
Oh yeah, it was a 4-5.
Yeah, it was a 4-5 split, and I mean, yeah, it was a pretty good series. I think that the Yankees, you know what, they're always gonna be good. They're always a respectable team. It could just be our influence and not liking the Yankees, being huge Jays fans.
Yeah, but
They'd
I
be a
don't
solid
see.
team, but like realistically, emotion aside, we don't really. I don't see them like doing super well. They'll definitely be playoff contention every year, though.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's way too many AL teams. I like I was saying there. I think the White Sox, personally for me, are going to make the World Series next year.
I was about to say, I was going to predict your.
So
I was trying to
long,
read your mind.
so long as they make a move or two, they can't be stagnant. Because they were very active last year, which was great, but they need to be at least half active this year as well to really make it count. And it's going to suck for them because there's also going to be a bunch of other teams that are going to be super active. I know the Jays are going to be very active because I know, what was it, Ross Atkins? Is that his name? Ross Atkins,
Yes.
something like that.
Yep.
He said he's willing to do like the equivalent of like a super max kind of thing for somebody, and he's willing to pay for some guys to come in.
Yeah,
he's
you see the Bauer thing where like they're asking Randall Grichuk if the fans still hate him or whatever.
And there's a bunch of different fans that actually do, and I was so confused. Why do fans hate him? I'm very confused about that because I can get it because his personality is a little
different,
hate me like me type thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it sounds like people hate him to the point that it's not just his personality, but I don't know what it could be.
I'm not sure.
I think they said, I think it was something specific happened, but I can't remember what it was.
Could just be some disclosed, like, kind of like in the ball house. It could just be some undisclosed stuff that not everyone knows about. But then, like, at the end of the day, that the fans don't like him. I think, honestly, if they brought in Bauer and then a solid, like, 7 or 8 hitter, it could be scary.
I think they need a third base. They need a third base guy.
Yeah.
Travis Shaw was good, but he's not good enough. He should be their first baseman. Vlad should stick to DH, and then they should get a third base.
Yep, I agree.
And then, like I said, they do need a starter as well. I don't think they're going to get Bauer. Kind of going back to what I said a little bit earlier, I think the team that will get them is the Angels. They do already have 2 massive contracts there, but they do have contracts expiring this year.
Right.
And, fans have complained enough about how they need pitching that I think they might get him. And the Bauer moment is biggest in LA, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely going to focus there especially because Clevenger is also in LA, his best friend, although he's in San Diego, but I don't think he'll go to San Diego.
No. I think this offseason, I think the Jays are ready to make some moves. Ross Atkins, obviously he made it clear that they were going to. I agree. A third baseman of target would be good. Probably in the next few episodes, we'll maybe break down who they should be going for.
Yeah.
And then some pitching help, because I believe Kyle Walker is becoming a free agent if he doesn't re-sign.
I think they should re-sign. I think that would be best for him as well.
Yeah. He was playing good this year. He played really good.
And then they need to trade Rourke, although his contract was bad, his year was bad, so it's going to be very hard to trade him unless they trade him with somebody that's okay to get somebody that has a big contract that's okay.
Right.
So it's going to be kind of hard to do
Lots of moves to look forward to this offseason. I think there's going to be some serious teams making a splash.
For sure. I don't think there's not any huge names this year. Like Bauer was good, but I mean he's been off on good, so he's probably the biggest name, but he's still not like Garrett Cole, Strasburg, and Rendon of like last year, right? I think it's going to be tough for him because there's for some teams because they want to get so much better. Like the Jays want to get so much better. The White Sox, they want to make some splashes. The Reds, they made a lot of moves last year. They're wanting to make a lot of moves. I don't know if the Brewers are going to want to rebuild or if they're going to want to try.
I don't know what the Brewers are going to do.
I think they're going to want to buy a bunch more players, but it's going to be tough because they don't have any monumental pieces that are going to change that much. You got some above level pitchers. You got a few above level position players, but you don't have anybody that's like crazy. Other than, I guess DJ LeMahieu, but I don't see his production continuing for like more than maybe a year or two more.
Right.
But I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I think
that's
we gotta hang the flag, of course.
right. Yeah, I'll do that now. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely turned out pretty sick, not gonna lie. Got
Yeah.
some pins here.
This has been definitely a fun betting round. We definitely want some suggestions as to what kind of content you guys are wanting during the off season. It's going to be very very tough as baseball's not going on, so we can't comment on it. However, we have some ideas, and maybe you guys can always contact. You can contact us on Twitter, on Instagram. You can always just comment on one of our videos. We will see it. About what you think might be a good idea to do. We have
Yeah, right.
yeah, very good, very good.
Yeah, okay.
We have some.
That's getting close.
Maybe push it over a little more.
Yeah, but there's a stud there.
Is there?
Yeah, obviously there will be. Yeah.
So maybe put it just higher.
Maybe. Well, no, the stud one's all the way down. You can probably maybe the corner. Might need a hammer.
Yeah, maybe we
Thumbs aren't too strong.
We have some ideas. We have possibly doing some like top tens of like our who we think was the best whatever this year, like say our best starters, best first base, whatever. Top 10 teams we think are going to be for next year, stuff like that. Look at that. Look how beautiful it is.
That's pretty sick. Maybe it needs an ironing or something. It's
Yeah.
got all creases in it.
Yeah, maybe it'll come out over time.
Maybe.
And then we also have what is it? We have ideas of doing some historic stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe talking about maybe some screwed up awards over the so many years or whatever, or like how this team was fantastic this year or whatever and why, stuff like that.
Some player profiles too. If you have any players you just want to know more about,
we're full on for that.
We'll do some research on it and present you maybe some information you never heard of that we may even never knew about. It'd be pretty entertaining to do. I know
sure.
There's a lot of very historical players that not many people know about. Pete Rose, Babe Ruth. There's a lot of players that people just kind of like, oh yeah,
they know the name, they don't know anything about them.
Exactly. So if you want to actually know something about them besides the name and maybe their number they wear, definitely something cool to check out.
Yeah,
we
for
could
sure.
Look into.
Or like some unsung heroes that people don't really know too much about, that like you don't even really know the name, like some great guys that they were never really that popular, but they put up under the radar seasons type thing.
Exactly. Tons of content we can work with. Pretty much open to whatever. Just let us know what you want to see and what you may not want to see.
And if you don't make any comments, that means we're just going to end up choosing our own content, which is not necessarily productive.
We're very indecisive. So,
well, not only are we not indecisive, or we're very indecisive, we don't know what you guys want.
Right.
So if we start posting this kind of stuff and you don't end up liking it and we just keep posting it, well, we won't know the difference. So make sure to let us know.
We can only take Braden's advice for so long.
Yes, and it's very hard to take his advice at times.
We turn into a Pirates themed podcast at that point.
Ugh.
But until then, you guys have a good week.
Yeah.
Watch the game tonight. It's going to be sick.
And then watch the World Series. Watch the hell out of it. It's going to be great.
Exactly. All right. Take it easy.
See ya. All right.
I need a hammer.